President Mohamed Morsi may have more to worry about than just the hundreds of thousands of opposition protesters jamming the capital. A short time ago, I spoke with senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann, who is in Cairo. He says Mr. Morsi also needs to be concerned about who is not at the protest sites.
This is the biggest demonstration I've seen here in Taqrיר since the night that President Mubarak stepped down on the 11th of February 2011. There's also a massive demonstration outside the Ittihadiyya Palace, which is Cairo's equivalent of the White House. There has been violence in Upper Egypt. We understand as many as 4 people have been killed there. And in another suburb of Cairo, Muqattam, there are clashes outside the headquarters of the Muslim Brotherhood. My colleague Ian Lee was there earlier this evening and saw protesters throwing Molotov cocktails at the building, and from within the building he said what sounded like gunshots being fired in the direction of the protesters. Now, what's interesting in the case of this Muslim Brotherhood headquarters in Cairo is that the police have refused to provide any serious security for the Muslim Brotherhood because of their differences with that group. And in fact, according to a Muslim Brotherhood spokesman, they claim that the 2 policemen who were there, in theory, guarding the Muslim Brotherhood headquarters, joined the protesters who carried them on their shoulders. So President Morsi has a problem here, not just the protests, but also the police and others within the government who clearly don't like him. Pauline?
So, Ben, you know, this has been going on. It doesn't look like there's any sign of an end. It's midnight there. We see just massive numbers of people. What do you think is the opposition's next step?
Well, one opposition group has called upon protesters to go and occupy or have a sit-in the Shura Council, which is the upper house of the Egyptian parliament, and to also occupy another government building nearby. They're also being called to have a protest or a sit-in outside Qubba Palace, which was where the President Morsi was operating out of. In sort of the medium term, it's not quite clear where this is going. President Morsi's spokesman this evening came out and said mistakes have been made, they will be rectified, they will try to include youth within the decision-making process, but the opposition says this simply isn't enough. They want the president to step down immediately. So there's a serious impasse, and many people think that the only group or body or institution that can resolve this impasse is the army.
All right, the latest there from senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann on Egypt. Now, reports say at least 174 people have been injured in protest-related violence across Egypt on Sunday, and it all comes on President Morsi's first anniversary in office.